whatever you want to do
Yeah,
there.
perfect. Hey, everybody. Hey. What's today? What is today?
Today is it's a Thursday.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
a Thursday.
Thursday. It's
So
recycling day.
it's funny, in my journal, I always log the date for the day, but I've sort of lost track of Thursday or whatever. Okay, there we go. I see the live. Let me just share this because I know that some friends and everybody would like to do this too.
Yep.
I'll let you go ahead and
All right.
sort of introduce and tee everything up, bro.
So, hey everybody, I'm here with my business partner. I'm pointing this way, and it looks like you should be on that side, but the way it's flipped, you're over this way now. So, all right, I'm here with my business partner and kind of my coach as well. But anyways, Josh Rogers
Buddies,
here,
friends.
and
We can stick it as friends, bro.
friends. Yes, we are friends. Shalalala. And we wanted to just reach out in this time. We know that there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world right now. I mean, our economy is struggling. Jobless numbers came out today, and they're 5 times higher than I think they've been. I don't know if it's ever or in a long time.
Yeah.
People are literally dying out there, and so we don't want to minimize any of that on one hand, but on the other hand, we also want to recognize that we have something different happening right now, and we do have time, and we want to learn together how to make the most of the time that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. I echo everything that you say, that we do have, life is different and we do have these moments together. So how can we make these moments count, and how can we make these moments special? And also, just to piggyback on what you said, people are dying out there, and our hearts and our prayers and our love go out to them. It's just so sad. So I don't want to look past that or minimize it in any way whatsoever. And there's a lot of pain happening right there. So that is in our constant thoughts and prayers, and to the families that are being affected by that as well.
Right.
So now that we do have this time where we are all, at home with the people that we love, it was Austin's great idea to come out and roll out just sort of different strategies, if you will, some tangible, actionable steps to come together and make the most of the time that we have count. So Austin, I'll turn it over to you, bro.
Cool. Well, really, so just for this stream, we're talking about 4 different ways that we can make our time count right now in 4 different, arenas or spheres, if you will. And first and foremost is family. So we want to make this time count with our families. And man, there's been a lot of great ideas. And please, if you have ideas as we're going through this, please put them in the comments below so we can implement them, and everyone who's watching can implement them. We can all, iron sharpens iron, we can all help each other out in this process. But one thing that has been really cool for us, and looking at like extended families and grandpa and grandma especially, who maybe don't get to see the grandkids right now, especially, are looking to connect. And like Anne Marie's family, my wife Anne Marie has family like all over the place in Austin, Texas, and up in Maine and upstate New York, and all over the place. And so really it's been difficult for her to connect, difficult for me to connect with my extended family. So one thing that we've started doing is a live Zoom call, a happy hour, a Zoom happy hour. What do we call that? A happy hour Zoom call. And everyone's been coming together, and we got all the little Brady Bunch, screens, and everyone's having, either an adult beverage or a soda. It doesn't even matter. It's not what it's about. But just getting together and connecting. And I think she's been able to connect more with her extended family, with her mom, with her brothers and sisters, than she even has outside of this period of time. So that's one thing that we've seen be super effective in here. It's not like people are going to be like, hey, I can't make it because we're all stuck at home, right, unless you're, police, nurse, IT, whatever, one of those essentials. I feel very non-essential right now, Josh. I don't know how you feel, but
you are very essential.
In any case.
You're very essential. I love that, man. And I just told Sarah, because I heard you talking about this idea that we absolutely have to do it with her side of the family. We have to have this virtual happy hour, and then my side of the family, and just use that as a time to come back together with the boys and their cousins, and even friends who feel like family and their kids. Man, we're just going to start piling everybody on a virtual happy hour. each evening. So that's a great idea, man. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
that's been really good. Josh, I know that, and then looking at like immediate family, how many kids you have now? You at like 12 or
There's
13
there's a,
now?
there's a lot out there. Yeah, there are a lot.
Tell us what you guys have been doing at night.
So this started just the last weekend, and I was like, hey, I could tell that the cabin fever was happening a little bit. And so for me, it's always a way of how can we help these kids burn their energy, especially early in the day, and then also give mama a little peace and quiet so she doesn't go completely loco. And so we set up the tent in the backyard, and I stayed out there with them the first night. And then I was like, hey, it's not going to rain. Why don't I just leave the tent up? So by default, the kids were like, hey, the tent's still up on night number 2. Can we go sleep out there? And I looked at Sarah, I'm like, why not? It's we've been programmed to say things in the past where like the world is different right now and life is different. So I said, yeah, go for it. So they camped out there by themselves, the 4 of them, in our fenced in private backyard. And then night 3 came along. Guess what they did, Austin?
I think that they slept without you out there in the tent.
Night 3. And then what did they do for night 4? The same thing. And then night 5. So they've been camping in the backyard, sleeping out there every night. It's been fantastic because they look forward to getting out of the house early. I say, hey, if you're not outside and in the tent by 7 o'clock, you cannot camp. So that gives Sarah and I an extra hour of just a little more quiet. And then in the morning, they're up and they're jumping on the trampoline and like burning that energy early in the morning, which is fantastic. So that's been a lot of fun. The tent is still out there. So it's still like alternating based on what the kids want to do.
She's saying I can bring my kids over and let them sleep out.
That is not what I'm saying. No, absolutely not. You stay in your own backyard.
And I got to say really quick, I've done that before with Luke. I remember the last time I did the backyard tent camping thing, 4:30 in the morning, all I heard was and
yes.
the tent's just getting hammered with reclaimed water. It was fantastic.
Oh, but, hey, that's what happens to you rich people in the reclaimed water neighborhood. See, here in my neighborhood, no, we got the good stuff.
You got the iron-rich water.
That's right.
Cool. Excellent.
Another thing that we've done, Austin, was Sarah and I will set up some chairs in the front yard. We'll set up some barricades across our driveway. And then we've been having a blast with this chalk. And I saw Amy Howell had like a chalk fest in her neighborhood too. So just get the kids out, do chalk. We had a wicked mean game of hopscotch that lasted 2 hours between myself and our 3 boys. And we had an absolute blast. So I do want to say that a big part of unplugging and making the time we have with our loved ones count is really just leaving this in the house and trying to get away from this. All right. And it's a process, but once I got away from it, it's just liberating and it's very freeing and I'm able to be present with them. So that was special.
That's awesome. I have to be perfectly honest. I've never quite understood the rules to hopscotch. I know you throw a rock and you jump around, and I don't know if it's 1 foot, 2 foot, what the rock does.
It's cutthroat, man. It's cutthroat.
Cutthroat hopscotch. Hey, I mean, and exercise, like that's amazing. I've got to say, Luke has taken me and made me go out and run, and he's run me and made me do intervals and making me doing push-ups. And I actually thought I can keep up with this kid. He's my little boy. He's my little 5-pound sit on my one arm Lukey. Nah, he's 16 and he's jacked up, and he took me for a run, and I was way behind, and he was waiting for me, and I appreciate that. But man, that just exercising together. Savannah and her volleyball club, they send out exercises, routines to do every day. Some of that includes throwing a ball to her, and it's good connection time, and it's helping me maybe shed. I might need to lose 1 or 2 pounds. I don't know.
I'm right there with you. Yeah, Luke is definitely a beefcake, man. His shoulders are so broad. Like I was like, man, he is not a boy anymore.
Yeah, I know. I got to keep my training up so he's not, choking me out and
right.
Good stuff.
In the mornings when when Nova gets up, Nova is our one daughter. We have 5 kids, 4 boys, 1 daughter, and so Nova and I go out and get her flowers for the day. So that's just something special that she and I do. We go around and pick all the flowers. Right now, all the flowers are blooming, so it's like becoming a really cool little tradition and something special for she and I. And then she tells everybody about her flowers that Daddy got her all day long. And so this is something that I'm really excited about because I see this turning into a daily tradition for she and I.
Oh, that's amazing. You know what? And someday, we're looking back at this, we'll say, oh, remember what the Dow did? You remember what unemployment did? You remember all this? Our kids are going to be like, it was a great time.
Yeah.
I remember going out with Daddy and picking flowers. And I remember, making my dad run and he couldn't keep up with me. And I remember, so I think that'll be their memories. And we can just, kind of shoulder some of the other load for the kids.
You're completely right. You're so right.
Cool. Hey, well, number 2, I thought, this is a great time to make sure that the time that we have counts with our friends too. And I'm especially thinking about those people we haven't connected with in quite a while. What are your thoughts on that, Josh? About how do we connect with people with whom we have not connected in a good bit?
Well, what is when we run into anybody, we say, oh my gosh, how have you been? What's new? What are you up to? And our first response to everyone is, we're just so busy. And you start playing phone tag and I'm sorry, life is just so busy. You lose touch. Well, life is at a completely different pace right now in this moment. So let's take that busy mentality off the table and say, I'm not running 100 miles a minute. Like, yes, I can reach out and send those texts and those Facebook messages and whatever and reconnect with our long lost, like really good friendships that faded away for no other reason than we were just busy and distracted. And so as you and I were talking, Austin, one great way to do this, because all social media has their algorithms and they decide who we are connected with and who we actually see in our Facebook feed. So the best thing that we decided is just pull up your friends list and then start scrolling through your friends list, because that's going to trigger these reminders of like, oh my goodness, my buddy Joey from elementary school, how in the world is he? And shoot off that quick message, and let's just start re-engaging and rekindling those relationships.
Yeah, that's amazing. And just a quick note. Sometimes we're a little hesitant, I think, to reach out because we feel guilty. Like, oh man, I haven't reached out to them in so long.
I'm a bad friend.
They haven't reached out to you either. So they're thinking the same thing. And when you just take the initiative and just say, hey, sorry we haven't connected in a while. How you doing? It's a great opportunity just to reconnect. And trust me, they're thinking the exact same thing. So it doesn't have to be weird.
Yeah. We get to beat them to the punch and be the better friend.
Yeah. Cool. So a third thing we were talking about was, how to make our time count with, spiritually and with church. I don't know, there maybe below you, how many people have been going to worship service online now, right? Well, I guess everyone that's going, it's got to be online. And it's been kind of cool. It was actually a little bit strange in a way. We're in our flex room sitting on the couch. We got our pastor Keith Dickerson up on the big screen, and he's just up there, and he's going through our liturgy, our order of worship, and praise. Parker and his mom are up there. We got the reduced size of the worship team right now, but they're up there leading singing, and we're in my flex room singing together. And on one hand, it was really weird to sing those first couple lines. But then it was kind of neat just to kind of be with family, singing together. We knew that we had some other friends that had texted us that they were hopping on as well. And so I just kind of pretended they were sitting over here. I couldn't see them, but we were all together in some sense. What's your experience been like doing online church?
Yeah, so it's fantastic because this is something that our family has actually been doing over the past year. So it's just been a seamless integration for us, Austin. And what we found is, truly when it comes to worshiping our Father and our God, it's such a personal experience. When we come together in community, that's when we're able to worship Him as a community as well, and family. And so when we do it in our home, those initial couple times feel different because guess what? We've never done it before. So anytime we do anything new, it feels different. So don't let that discourage or sabotage us from making this time that we have count now. And so actually, Sarah didn't even know that you and I were going to have this conversation, but just this morning while we were getting ready, she's like, hey, let's do our family church and just stream it live on social media for anybody else that's curious of what this home church looks like with family. Can just take a peek, and then they can join in or be a part of it if they want, but it also gives them an example of what it could look like. So we just have a kids devotional, and we start off, I just read the devotional, then we have a little discussion, and then we kick up a worship song with the words on YouTube. We play that, so then we worship one song together because I got 5 kids, and then afterwards we all pray individually. And so from start to finish, it may take 15 minutes. But as we're doing this, Austin, I have to remind myself that I'm not doing it for them, and I'm not doing it for show. And it's just to keep that in mind, that it's an audience of one, and I'm doing it for my King and my Savior and my Lord. And all that matters is what my heart is putting out on display, physically, to just worship Him for saving me from my depravity that I couldn't do on my own. And on the other side of this, Austin, on the other side of worshiping our Lord together with our family in our home, gosh, man, it's such a breath of fresh air. Like, how did you guys feel after your family did that the first couple times, Austin?
Yeah, well, we've only had the one online service so far, but it was just cool, and we look forward to doing that again. Absolutely, and I love how you wrapped in the the idea of sharing that and putting it out there on Zoom. Zoom it's been amazing technology. So our community groups, so our church, as a lot of churches do, we meet once during the week for corporate worship, and then we have community groups that meet in homes during the rest of the week. And of course, we're not supposed to be doing that right now. We're not doing that right now. But we are able to do that right now through Zoom. And so on Sunday nights at 5, I send out a link to my group. We're going through 1 John right now, so we've already got the passage and the questions. And hey, we just meet together. We have some discussion. We find out what's going on in each other's lives. How can we pray for each other? Pray some, and then we wrap it up. It's been like a 45-minute-ish type group right now, but we're still staying connected, and we get to find out if they have special needs and requirements right now. Other ways that we can bear one another's burdens and help out in those ways, through prayer or through, people have real practical needs right now. So it's a great way to stay connected.
Yeah, I love that. Family. It's so good.
Cool. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess the fourth and final for right now. Would be on our business. How do we make our time count in our businesses right now? And I know for us as real estate agents, we're very myopic sometimes. We think about how we can use technology in our own business, and thankfully we do have some cool abilities now that we didn't have before. Virtual open houses, virtual showings, and these are things that we've been doing for a good long time because just our focus on new construction and showing model homes and showing neighborhoods and doing video. It's great that it's really opened up into the wider sphere of agents, and we're able to help some other agents with this as well, and help our customers and clients find and be able to see and view homes. And actually, we can pretty much do the whole contract, the whole transaction contactless now, which is amazing, especially with mobile notaries coming in. That's a whole other conversation. What are your thoughts on that for maybe within real estate, but also for people who have business that can use video and other online technology to help them stay afloat right now?
Yeah. I think I will break out of the real estate conversation and just jump into anybody, wherever you are in whatever type of career or business or profession, is to rather than resisting this new economy that we are, because after this all blows over, I feel like this situation has opened up a whole new world of how business can be performed and how it will be performed. So a couple apps I wanted to share with everyone. If you have not grabbed these apps, they're an absolute must. And the first is Zoom, Zoom. It's cross-compatible with all devices, and it's free. It's a very easy, seamless video chat app, and you can have a lot of users on it, and it syncs across the board. It's like churches are using it, businesses are using it, families are using it. So Zoom, you definitely want to download that app. You can download it to your phone and also your computer. The second one is a productivity messaging app for teams, and that's called Slack, Slack. Both of these stocks, interestingly enough, have been rising over the past 2 weeks because a lot of people are moving over and adopting this virtual workplace. And so Slack is a fantastic way for you to create groups of people, different work groups, different projects, and begin to message in there and keep track of all these messages rather than it blowing you up on text message. And then the third app that I would recommend is Trello. Trello is an incredible way to organize projects and workflow. So I would recommend, and they're all free. So get Zoom, Slack, and Trello, and you will be armed and dangerous for the new workplace of 2020.
Great. Yeah. And then I think just finally, just put this out there. If there's some way that we can help, if there's some way I can help personally, Brainstorm, I'd love to hop on a 10-15 minute call. We'll grab a virtual cup of coffee. That's been our thing lately, having a virtual cup of coffee, and just let's talk through not just real estate, any business out there, anything that maybe you want to talk about, different techs. I love being the tech guy. So just reach out to me, direct message me. You got my number probably if you're on here anyways, and let's just chat about it and see how we can help each other in this time. Do you have any closing thoughts, Josh?
I completely agree with you. Hey, I was just thinking, I was like, you and I have used this time to get caught up on books and personal growth and development and feeding our mind and our heart positive things that are going to help us grow rather than being inundated with all of the fear. That was a great article that you made this morning, Austin. So what we feed our minds and our hearts is really going to affect us in a large way. So where we do want to stay relevant and not be completely cut off from the world, I say use a filter, like use a very wise filter on how much you want to plug into that. But on the same time, Austin, I got turned on a year ago to The Minimalist, and The Minimalist, they have a documentary on Netflix. It's free. And then they also have a book, an audio book that I listen to, and a podcast. And I was thinking this is a great time to plug into those kind of things or subjects that we want to learn about. And minimalism is all about sorting out all of our clutter. So I'm in the middle of going through my garage and just using this time to really to just grow, on so many levels. So, man, thank you for putting this together, Austin.
Awesome. Thanks for joining. And thank everyone out there for watching, and look forward to connecting later. All right. Thanks, Josh.
All right. See you around.
See ya.